Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video. Now I had something else planned for today, but I'm still not moved in, as you guys can probably tell. So I figured I'd make a video on how to buy a home in your 20s. So if you're a young buck like myself and you're looking to buy a home, then I'll be the first young person to tell you that it's actually not that hard at all. Anyone, yes, anyone can buy a home in their 20s or even younger if they knew what was actually going on. And I've heard that if you click the like button on this video, your chances of buying a home go up by like 1,000,000%.
I am the one, the way you.
But alright, today I'm gonna be telling you guys what the hell is actually going on if you wanna buy a home. Alright, so check it out. I'm 23 years old at the time of buying this house behind me, and I'm not trying to say that in a bragging way or that that's crazy insane. I'm trying to tell you that it's really not that hard to get a house. You just gotta know what's going on. And what I mean by that is that you need to just take the necessary preparations to actually get yourself a home that you want to get. And a lot of people just don't take the steps necessary to put themselves in a position to be able to buy a home. For example, you don't just wake up one day and say, you know what, yeah, I think today I'm gonna go to the store and pick out a home and buy it. No, buying a home is like a process. You don't just go to Amazon, buy it, put it in your cart, and get it 2 days later. You gotta start preparing for it months, maybe years in advance to get yourself in a position to actually make a purchase that actually makes sense for you. And this is super important if you're buying your first home, because if you're like 50 years old and you have a midlife crisis and you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna wake up today and go buy a new home, sure, you can go do that when you're 50 because you've got a lot of money and you're hopefully more established. But no, we're not 50-year-old dudes, we're young bucks. We spend a lot of money on some dumb stuff like traveling and, I don't know, drinks at the bar and Starbucks twice a day. And if you're especially dumb, you buy boats. So, I mean, you know, again, we just make really stupid purchases, and that's why we usually are not in a position to buy a house. But anyway, buying a home is a process, and the fact that you're actually watching this video is good because that's the first step in the process of getting a home. But I'm gonna go over 3 things today that is important when actually buying a home. And again, these are things you're gonna wanna work on now so you're prepared for it in the future when you actually wanna buy a home. I know I've said this like 1,000,000 times, but again, this is a process and it doesn't happen overnight. Okay, so just keep that in mind as we go over these things. But number one, you need to have a job, right? So you need to have reoccurring income, okay? And I don't want to get too much into the weeds in this video about all these qualifying things and how you're going to qualify for home. Just, these are 3 basic things I'm going to be going over that you just need to keep in the back of your mind if you're planning on buying a home in the next 5 to 7 years, okay? Because a lot of people go, oh, home ownership is not in my deck of cards right now. I don't even know what I'm doing with my life. Totally fine. Just know these 3 things so you can actually keep it in the back of your mind for when you actually want to buy a home. So number 1, right, you need to have, like I just said, you need to have a job. You need to have that reoccurring income, and you need to have reoccurring income that is actually like a history of it. So a lot of people get a job, right? They get a job and they've got a salary job or they've got a base hourly pay, and let's call it $15 an hour, right? And everyone's like, yeah, I make $15 an hour, but really, I work a lot of overtime, I get bonuses or commissions on the sales that I get, so really, I make like $25, $26 an hour, and that's great, but if you got all that overtime, that bonus, and all that other stuff that's not base pay, you need to have a 2-year history to actually be able to use it. This kills so many people. If you're making like 50, 60, 70, 80K a year on base salary, no bonus, no commission, none of that other stuff, overtime, then you're probably golden. But if you're only making 30,000 base a year and then a lot of it comes from commission and bonus, guys, you need to have a 2-year history. This kills so many people because a lot of entry-level jobs these days are structured that way. You only make 30 to 35,000 a year, but really you can be making about 60,000 a year with your commissions and bonuses and overtime and all that other jazz. So just know that if you get a great job, that's awesome, good for you, congratulations. But if there's anything other than base pay on it, you need to be at that place for 2 years to be able to actually utilize that income. Again, just things to keep in mind because a lot of people don't know that, and a lot of people like to switch jobs when they're starting out in the workforce. So just gotta keep that in mind. Now, if you're in the same industry, sometimes you can use it, just gotta be a little careful with that. And another thing I wanna mention is it's 2019, guys. people people our age get revenue sources from all over, right? I mean, there's a lot of influencers and people doing a lot of their own side hustles and side gigs, and I totally get it. I'm all for that. I have multiple side gigs, and that's what I think everyone should have. But if you're making income like that, then you need to actually claim it on your taxes to be able to use it to buy a home. So, for example, I'm going to give you one real quick. I've been making income off YouTube for a while and a bunch of other things for a while, but don't tell the IRS, but I don't claim everything, right? So I write off a lot of things. It doesn't look like my business is all that profitable, but when I was going to buy a home, I had to actually claim a lot of that stuff so I can show that I actually make money. Okay, so that's another thing important to say. A lot of people got side hustles and they don't claim anything, and then they're all pissed off when they come to me and they're like, dude, but I make such good money. And I'm like, well, your taxes show you made $300 last year. What do you want me to do? Again, just food for thought, and if you do have a side hustle, just get an LLC. It's like $100 to do, and you'll be so much better off in the future. Again, these are things just to keep in mind. A lot of people don't know these things our age, so I'm trying to tell as many people as possible. Bottom line that I'm trying to say with this number one thing is just get a job, get some good reoccurring income that you can prove. All right, number two, you need to have credit. No, wait, scratch that. You need to have good credit to buy a home, and this is another thing that kills so many people our age, because a lot of us don't get credit cards. Our parents have basically conditioned us to say, do not get a credit card. I do not want you in credit card debt. It can really mess your life up, and it can, you should listen to them, it can really mess your life up, but you do need to get a credit card or two. I always recommend getting 2 credit cards and just barely use them. Just barely use them. What you don't want to do is get a credit card, go eat everywhere, like let's say Chipotle, and get avocado on every single meal that you get, because that's how you go bankrupt. But no, seriously guys, you need to get a credit card, barely use it. What I always recommend, it's the best strategy in my opinion when you're starting out and you're younger and you don't want to worry about anything. Get a credit card, throw your Netflix subscription on it, throw your gym membership on it, only throw like $50 a month on it, have it automatically pull out of your checking account or whatever you use, and you don't have to worry about it at all, and it's actually building you credit. Super simple to build one of these. Unless you plan on buying your house cash, you're gonna need some credit, so just go get a credit card. Go do what I just said. Get an Amazon Prime credit card if you can. These things are amazing. You're already spending tons of money on Amazon, so you might as well get some free stuff for doing it and build your credit. No brainer. Oh, and I've made a few videos on how to build your credit score. I'll leave them down below. They're actually pretty entertaining. A lot of people say credit or credit score and they get all bored or whatever. Actually, good stuff to know. You don't get taught these things in school, so go check out that playlist down below. But pretty much, guys, you just need to start building that credit. You're going to get a way better interest rate. You're going to actually be able to qualify for a house. Lower interest rate means lower monthly payment, which means you're going to be saving so much money in the long run, which means it's just so much better off for you financially. Oh, and before we go on to the next one, number 3, I want to say that credit also includes liability. So please do not have tons of monthly payments. All right, I get so frustrated when I see someone who's like 22, 23 years old. They just bought a 2019 brand new $40,000 car and their monthly payments like $650 a month. You don't need that brand new car. You do not need that. There's plenty of great cars that are not brand new. For example, both my cars are 2006. All right, so it's like, and I love them. They're great. They do the job. I get from point A to point B. They're fun to drive, those kind of things. I mean, you don't need that brand new car, because if you've got that $500, $600, $700 a month payment, and maybe it's not just in the car, maybe you've got the student loans to add to it and all that other stuff. I got a video for that down below as well with student loans. But pretty much what I'm trying to say is just don't have tons of monthly liabilities. Guys, we're young. We don't want to have these bills to pay. So don't put yourself in a position where you've got to be making X amount of dollars a month just to pay all these bills, all right? Keep your expenses super, super, super low. Plus, it's just way more fun that way, because then we can actually go spend money on our avocado and our drinks at the bar. But all right, last one is number 3, which is savings, okay? You need to have a little bit of money in the bank, and a lot of people our age think they need to have 20% to put down on a house. You do not need that. Just start saving a little bit. You should already be saving. If you make $1,000 a month, then you should be saving at least $100 a month into your savings account. I always try to save at least 10%, minimum of 10%, and you'll be in a better financial situation, guys. You need to have a little bit of a savings, okay? Not a ton, just a little bit in there. So if you can't tell by now, I am a mortgage lender in Arizona, so I see this stuff, I know this stuff, I do this stuff every single day. That's why I'm making this video, but I see 90% of the time that people come to me, first-time homebuyers come to me, and they want to put the minimum percent down, which is totally fine and totally good, and you should be doing that. Putting the minimum percent down. So what is the minimum percent down? Well, you only need like 3% to put down on a home, okay? So 3% of $100,000, just keep it simple. If you bought a $100,000 home, that's only $3,000 in the bank. $200,000 home, which is usually about the range of a first-time home buyer, 200, maybe 180 to 230. You know, you're looking at 3% of that. $6,000, $6,500, really not that hard. Start saving now so you can be in a position to actually put that down on a home when you want to actually buy a home. Or just blow it on a boat, choice is yours. So savings, and I want to mention this real quick because a lot of people always tell me this, well, aren't there down payment assistance programs I can get into a house with no money down? Yes, there are down payment assistance programs. I do not recommend you use them because your interest rate is going to be very high. So yes, you might get into the home with that down payment assistance, but you're basically going to be paying it in your interest rate over the course of whatever, how many years that you're in there. So it's really not worth it. If you can save and put the money down, you're going to be way better off. I mean, I've done the math on it so many times. You're going to be so much better off. And even with the down payment assistance program, a lot of people think that they can literally get into a home for $0. And some programs, yes, you can get into a home for $0. It's got to be the perfect home that basically no one wants. Because you got to get your sellers to pay for all your closing costs. Basically, guys, there's an appraisal fee you got to pay for, which is usually $400, $450, $500 for that. And then you got to get an inspection. You don't have to, but you should get an inspection on the home, which is like $200. So like, you need to have some money in your account, even if you want to use a down payment assistance program, guys. I've literally had people come to me with negative bank accounts before, and I'm like, no. But again, those are the three main components to buying a home in your 20s, and this is really the main components for anyone buying a home, but it's important when you're in your 20s because we don't know these things. We aren't taught these things in school, and you need to know them, right? So you gotta have income, you gotta have some good credit, and you gotta have a little bit of money in the bank to actually get into a home, guys. And again, we're not taught these things in school, so a lot of people don't know these things, and then when they wanna actually buy a house, they go talk to a realtor, and the realtor says, all right, well, have you done these things? And you're like, what is all that? I don't know. I just want to buy a house. And you can't do that. So again, it's a process. You got to start now. Even if you want to buy a home in like 5 years, just know these three things. Keep them in the back of your mind. So when you're actually doing things, getting new jobs, maybe saving money, doing all sorts of stuff, you'll be better off to buy a home. And guys, like I said, it's really not that hard to buy a home in your 20s. You just got to live a little bit frugal. A lot of people think that I've got tons of money and I make tons of money. And in reality, I really don't. I just save my money and I'm very smart with it. I'll never buy a toy or an asset unless I know that I'm either going to get a tremendous amount of value out of it or that I'm going to end up selling it for more than what I bought it for. Again, guys, you just got to live a little bit more frugal. I know our 20s, it's fun to just go out, blow money, have fun, live life, all sorts of these things. But I'm 23, and in the last 3 years during my 20s, I've had tons of fun, and I've done so many great things, and it's all possible even if you don't make that much money. You just gotta live frugally. You just gotta save a little bit more money when you can. You don't need that avocado on your Chipotle burrito. All right, you don't need to be going to the bars 3 times a week and blowing $40 each time you go to the bars. I mean, just save a little bit of money, all right? Save a little bit of money, and it's really not that hard to get a house. And again, if you live in Arizona and you want to find out specifically what it takes to get into a house or your specific situation, what can be tweaked or fine-tuned to get into a house, then definitely reach out to me. You can go to lending.shawnmalkou.com. I'll leave it linked down below for you guys. Again, lending.shawnmalkou.com. I'd love to help you out. But ultimately, hope you learned something new. If you did, please click that like button. I really appreciate it. Drop me a comment what you think down below or maybe your specific situation. I'd love to kind of give some feedback. And subscribe if you're new around here. I try to release a lot of really great content on here that's either not taught in school or that's just a lot of people don't know about. So definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Plus, I guess while I'm plugging everything, you might as well follow me on social media at Shawn Malkou, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, MySpace, I don't know. Oh, and a cool video that I'll be dropping soon is actually a renting versus buying comparison. And a lot of people always just say, oh, well, buying's always the smarter situation. But sometimes it's actually smarter to rent, and I want to actually break that down in the video. So again, subscribe if you're new around here to check that one out. I think a lot of you guys would really like that one. But again, Shawn's the name. I wish you guys all the best of luck in buying your first home if you're trying to buy a first home, or if you're just starting the process now. Good on you for starting the process. Again, I wish you all the best of luck, and I will see you in the next video.